it's crazy, like the life that you lived, right? And it's so easy to see people right now, and you kind of like get, like people would have a perception of you, like maybe there's people that come, or I guess come across you through the pink thing.
Yeah.
But it's like the life that you had before is this exceptionally crazy life that it's like you invented a culture. Like there was a core group of you guys that created a culture that is still going now. Yeah. And it's like, what a time to be alive back in that era. And we had Travis on the podcast not long ago. And even Travis is like this megastar frothing on you doing the first backflip.
Yeah.
How long ago does that even feel like when you were doing that? Was that Gravity Games?
That was Gravity Games.
90
2000 or 2001. Anyway,
I was going to say
it feels like a
99,
it's a lifetime ago. I mean,
how long ago does that feel like?
Oh, it feels like a lifetime ago, and you kind of hit the nail on the head. Like, I'm glad I was around that period, not so much for, starting or building a sport, but just how fun it was back then and how low pressure and just rage.
Well, you were like writing the rules, man.
Yeah, exactly. And we got away with shit that, thank God there's no social media around back in those days, just like destroying hotel rooms and being wild and crazy, just young kids, traveling the world riding motorcycles. Like it was the most insane time of my life from that standpoint.
And just think about too, like, I mean, I'm one of the kids you influence, right? Like my life, I grew up in Cairns, which is middle of fucking nowhere, and we got Krusty Demons on VHS.
Yep.
And we literally played Krusty Demons on VHS until they stopped working.
Yeah.
And then we had to go to Wayne Leonard's Motorcycles, which was the only store in town that sold those VHSs. And we bought them, and then we did it again.
Yeah.
And it's like that millions of kids that was inspired, not even just that, like the musical taste, like listening to Motorhead and like all of these, it's like you guys created something that still is going now. And it's like, even I wonder, like for myself, like I got into the filmmaking side of things. It's like what's the economy of what you guys did that still goes now? Like I made money making dirt bike films because I watched your dirt bike films. Yeah. Like there's a crazy economy that you guys kind of started, and it's still going. I
mean, it's cool. I'm going to sound like the salty old guy right now, but unfortunately what motocross, freestyle motocross, all action sports really, skate, snow, whatever it is, what it was in the 90s as
being targetified.
Yeah, well, it's just like it was exciting and everything was new, and there was no internet that ruined everything and social media that ruined everything and instant gratification, but there was a culture and a lifestyle behind it back in those days. And I don't know, I mean, my hat goes off, and I actually feel bad for all the, let's just take motocross, what I know of all these young bangers that are just throwing down the most insane tricks, but
for nothing.
It's like, for what? Yeah. For a highlight reel on Instagram on the popular page, or for that little bit that you might catch on X Games. And it's like, and there's no story of telling their personality, or there's no image to them.
Well, you almost can't have a personality these days, because there's so many ways that you can get fucked by social media or by even like you went through it with Kenny. Like when Kenny was drinking Coors after he won the title with you guys, there was like backlash for this dude that just worked his whole life to win this championship.
Yeah, he's having a couple beers.
And then he had a couple beers and a pizza, and then he's getting crucified. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you're almost like, what made you guys famous was the fact that you were carrying on, like living this extreme life, and everyone was all about it. Yeah. And now you get these dudes that try to do that shit today. And it's like, dude, put a lid on that. You can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the slippery slope. I think that was the good and the bad of my personal career, how I run all my businesses, how I ran my race team. I mean, dude, I was the one there giving Ken Roxon a beer. Like, fuck you guys. This dude just worked his ass off on a championship. He's a grown-ass man. He can enjoy a couple of beers or whatever that might be. And I think that's just where the heart and soul, not from an alcohol standpoint, but like the heart and soul has kind of been sucked out of action sports due to political correctness and social media and always being on your best behavior. And I really wish, and I'm going to kind of start beating up on Fox about this a little bit, but I think people are kind of looking for that resurgence of, I could be totally off, but me and my old standpoint, like I think it'd be awesome to go out and do a new terra firma and go spend 12 months filming. And yeah, cool. Like you don't have to get the double flips and the triple flips, but do the road trips with like all the iconic guys, you know, get Roxanne and Carmichael out for a trip and like maybe me and Twitch and, you know, getting back to that roots of, because it wasn't the riding that had you guys stoked on Krusty. I mean, it was cool. It was rad crashing and big dune jumps or whatever, but it was the partying and the lifestyle. It was
all of it.
Yeah. Being in a van and like, you know, being like, feeling like you're in the passenger seat of, you know, going through Peru or going through Brazil or, you know, whatever that situation might be. It's getting back to the lifestyle of it. I mean, why do people sit here and listen to podcasts? They can't even see it. And if they do see it, it's just two guys sitting at a table, but they want to feel like they're involved with something. And I feel like that's a huge piece missing in, I mean, action sports in general, but specifically motocross. I mean, that's why Ken is such a fucking rock star, because you hear him in interviews. Fuck everybody. He don't care. As long as he's doing his work during the week and doing what he's supposed to do on the weekends and winning races and going after championships, fuck everybody.